Hello, and happy Monday. If there can ever be a such thing as happy Monday, I will wish you guys a happy Monday. And Monday, that means fantasy basketball day. I actually had a pretty good matchup this week with Ricky. Ricky was in second place. I beat him 5-4 in a very close battle. Get into some of the stats for this week. He beat me by a whole 1/1000th of a point in field goal percentage. Beat me pretty handily in free throw percentage. Pretty handily in regards to how close field goal percentage was, that is. I beat him pretty handily in three-pointers. Beat him by 23s. I guess my players were doing their thing this week on those threes. Beat him in points by a decent amount. Beat him in rebounds by 50, which is a pretty solid amount. Beat him by 27 assists, which is also a pretty solid amount. Won by 1 steal, which was very big in a game that's 5-4. 1 steal, that's huge. A big category win there. He beat me by 15 blocks. Only had 16 blocks this week. That's not good. And of course I lose in turnovers, because that's just what my team does. We do that, losing in turnovers every week. 87 turnovers is a lot, but to be quite honest, I do not care, because turnovers is something that you lose in when you pay attention. Get into some of my players' stats. Curry is my leading scorer this week, or I should say was, since the week is over now. Was my leading scorer with 85 points. Followed very closely by Trevor Ariza, who had 78 points. He had that 40-point game. I don't remember when it was, don't ask. I just know he had a big game this week, 40 points. That's more than half of his 78 right there. And then Klay Thompson, 64 this week. Maybe he's gonna get back on track for us for this little last stretch of the season. It would be nice. He's been kind of sucking it up lately. But his field goal percentage is up from last week. He had 11 threes this week, which is up. And his free throw percentage is also up from previous weeks. What else do we have? We actually had okay numbers in free throw percentage this week, but this kid's team was just better at free throws, I guess. He has 2 people that didn't miss a free throw. But yeah, my free throw, the only one that was really terrible was Mr. Josh Smith over here, and Hickson. Besides that, not really. Field goal percentages are even pretty good, with the exception of Hickson, under 40%. Was led in threes by Ariza, was 15. On that big 40-point game, he had 8. I think it was 8. Don't quote me on that 8. think it was 8. It was at least 8. And Curry had 13, and Klay Thompson had 11. So those three right there basically beat him in threes. He was led in rebounds by not Dwight Howard, J.J. Hickson with 37, followed by Zach Randolph with 31, and then Dwight Howard with 30. At least he got 30, though. At least he got to that 30. I was led in assists this week by Curry with 32, and then Marshall with 22. Marshall's assists are the only reason why I still have him on my team. Honestly, if he wasn't passing the ball as well as he has been, I would be dropping him because he, as you can tell, did not score a single point this week. That's a problem. But he is on my team strictly for assists, and that's what he's doing, so I can't complain. Reggie Jackson, 9 assists. Is not good. But I guess he's not getting playing time. Or as much playing time as he was since Westbrook's back. But we have some good news for Reggie Jackson fantasy owners like myself. Cephalosha of the Thunder is out for the rest of the regular season. So this is going to help Reggie Jackson's numbers. He's going to get more minutes again. He's going to be getting probably similar minutes to what he was when Westbrook was out. So that's good for us. Had a decent amount of steals this week. I was led by Ariza with 8. And then Kawhi Leonard, who is very good to have back because he is very solid across the boards. He's very versatile player, which is why I drafted him. But he had 6 steals this week. And blocks this week were not good. But we only had 16 blocks this week. That's really bad. I might go look for a shot blocker in the free agency. And turnovers, Curry had 19 turnovers this week. That is really not okay. But he really handles the ball a lot for the Warriors, so I guess high turnovers is going to come. Also, Kendall Marshall had double-digit turnovers with 10. And Howard, only 7. Way to go, Howard. Stepping your game up in those turnovers. Not getting double-digit turnovers this week. Good job. I'm proud. This kid's team, he had Kyrie Irving, who was also voted as this week's Fantasy Player of the Week. But I beat that. Beat the wrath of Kyrie. Beat the wrath of Uncle Drew. And Lillard had an off week. And then had 11 assists. That's really his only 2 well-known players. Look at Ibaka, 9 blocks. Never mind. Ibaka. Beast mode in it. Now we can look and see my lead. My lead is 18. I don't remember what it was last week. You can check if you really care. NAOA is back in second place. He won 8-1 last week. I dropped Ricky to 4th from 2nd, and Joseph, the great challenger, is just stuck in 3rd, just like he has been for most of the season. Poor Joseph. I wonder if he watches my videos. Wonder if he's still going for my #1 spot. It's probably not a good idea for him. He might want to try to, clinch a playoff spot first. Playoffs start in 2 weeks. I'm excited. And I remain undefeated. That's this week's matchup. Okay. This week I am facing... I'm not even going to try to say that. But he's in 10th. 47.5 games behind me. And lost 8-1 last week. So I have a pretty easy week this week. And then next week I face Muhammad. And then it's the playoffs, which I plan on staying undefeated through. And that's all I got for you for today. Okay, bye.